Last Night in Soho is the latest release from Universal Pictures and Focus Features. It stars Thomasin, McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy and is directed by Edgar Wright. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my content. An aspiring fashion designer is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s, where she encounters a dazzling wannabe singer. However, the glamour is not all it appears to be, and the dreams of the past start to crack and splinter into something far darker. Last Night in Soho is a movie that I've been hotly anticipating for a little while now. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of Edgar Wright's work. I have pretty much really enjoyed everything that I've seen from him. The thing that really got me about this is that it just felt like my kind of movie. One of my favorite movies of all time, particularly of the last 10 or 15 years, is Black Swan. And to me, this movie just kind of had that same sort of vibe going for it. Kind of weird, quirky, left of center, sort of, thriller slash horror slash psychological drama sort of thing with a little bit of a vintage flavor, really beautiful neon lighting. I mean, not that Black Swan had neon lighting or anything, but it was just, all these kind of things just made me just feel like this movie was going to be really my kind of thing. This is another movie that I feel like I just can't say much about. I don't know if I can say anything about this. I tried to go into this as blindly as possible. People that I knew who had seen it, who I spoke to, were like, don't watch the second trailer, the main trailer. I still haven't watched it yet, but apparently that gives away quite a lot. They were like, you're fine to just watch the teaser trailer, and I watched that. It didn't give away anything. But going to this movie as blind as possible without knowing pretty much anything. But yes, this turned out to be absolutely my kind of movie. I just loved everything about this. Artistically, this is one of the most beautiful looking movies in recent memory. The neon lighting that is employed in this movie just gives it this really great visceral kind of feel. And again, that vintage flavor just adds something a little bit to it here. The music, obviously Edgar Wright puts a lot into his soundtracks. He's a filmmaker like Quentin Tarantino or James Gunn who builds their movies around the soundtrack. And it's so beautifully used in here. Really great pop songs from the 1960s, which are almost kind of haunting when you put it in the backdrop of what's going on in this movie, which again, I'm really not going to say. The thing I liked about it the most is it's so thrilling and unpredictable. There are so many little twists and turns. You really don't know at any point throughout the movie where the film is going. The first 20 minutes of the movie just feel so normal, and it takes this weird twist, and the movie doesn't stop twisting until the very end when it finally relents with this massive kind of revelation, and it's just nothing that you ever expected. This movie at every step of the way keeps you on the edge of your seat. It keeps you guessing and thinking and trying to predict. But I personally just never predicted where this movie was going to go. And when a movie can do that so successfully, I think that warrants the greatest praise possible. The two actresses in this movie, both Thomasin, McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy, are incredible. Both actresses really kind of complement each other. One character doesn't work without the other. They play off, they feed off each other just so well. I think these are two of the greatest performances I've seen in a movie for a long time. There's some really great visuals in here where I feel like a lot of it is done in camera, but I'm not sure if it was visual effects. There's a lot of this kind of interspersed throughout these weird kind of quirky dreamish kind of sequences, the 1960s kind of set moments where you do have a character in front of a mirror and the reflection is the other character. I'm not sure if it was done in camera. I feel like it was done with some sort of in-camera trickery, but it could have been visual effects. I don't know. It's just so seamless. Everything about this movie, you can't see the cracks. You can't even figure out, how it was made. And I think that's such a testament to the work of this movie is that, when you can figure out how they did something, it does take away a little bit of the magic of the movie. When you can't see the lines, it just makes it even more enthralling and captivating. And this movie is so enthralling and captivating every step of the way. If I had any major gripe, well, not even a major gripe, if I had any just a minor gripe with this movie, it does have a tendency to be a little bit silly, particularly when it gets towards the end. It spirals into this really kind of weird, wacky kind of thing where a few moments where you do go, oh, that's a little bit dumb, that's a little bit stupid, Like, a few things kind of maybe go against the feel of the movie, but you do learn to just kind of embrace it and just go along. You roll with the punches with the film, and by the end of it, it's just entirely satisfying. But with all that said, this really is a really close to perfect movie for me anyway. This is just my kind of film, and I feel like this is going to be like a regular roster of mine. I loved it, and I think this is probably one of, if not, it's one of my favourite movies of 2021 so far. And at that, I will happily be giving Last Night in Soho a 4.5 out of 5. Last Night in Soho is an insane thrill ride told through a neon 60s lens by Edgar Wright. With a killer soundtrack, incredible performances, and legitimately surprising twists and turns, this is one of my favourite flicks of 2021. I know it feels like Last Night in Soho has been open to the rest of the world forever now, but it opens here in Australian cinemas as of the 18th of November 2021. Thanks to the incredible team over at Universal Pictures for organising for me to get to see this movie early for the purposes of this review. Thanks everybody out there for watching. I hope you enjoy the movie. I'll see you on the next one. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.